Guys, so Justice MSc Canada. Yeah, definitely a lot of people are asking the question, how much will it cost you to travel and come and study in Canada? It's not expensive as compared to UK and other places. I think Canada is way cheaper. The only issue is the proof of funds. So stay with me. Like I said, hit the subscribe button, make sure you like it, make sure you comment if there are any follow-up questions, and I'll do my best to come and share with you. So for the meantime, let me give you some view here. Look at the beautiful place. All right, so guys, let's quickly go through now. The cost you incur is in 5-fold, so you don't have to be afraid. If you incur the first one and it's not, you don't progress to the next process, you don't have to incur the second one, you don't have to incur the third one. So it is pay as you go. Now, the first process, you will be incurring an amount of, let's say, just $200. Just $200. It will surprise you, yes, because that's the cost you incur in applying for a school. That's the first cost, $200. But I will always advise that apply for multiple schools. So what I did was I applied for 3 schools. If you already have a degree, try and apply for masters, because there is a lot of pressure on the degree. But if you don't have a degree, then you go for the first degree, or even if you have a degree, you can go for the first degree and diploma studies. But if you have masters, please just try and apply for another masters or PhD, because the higher you apply, the more easier it is, because the degree, there is a lot of pressure at times. How soon you get your response and all that might even delay, but with the masters, it's quite straightforward. So that's the first step. So if you're applying for about 3 schools, I think some schools you'll be paying like $100 for application. Some may be charging you as much as $150. So let's say you're applying for just 4 schools. The more schools, that's the first point, getting the offer letter. So if you're applying for 4 schools, then you are looking at, let's say, $600. $600, when you convert it to Ghana cedis, is more of how much? $600. It's like 10,000 cedis. It's quite huge, but for me, I think it's worth it. So that's the first one. Now, when your application is successful, the next cost you incur, for most schools, they will ask you to make a deposit towards tuition before you accept. So my school, they asked me to make a deposit of 2,000 Canadian dollars. Some schools will ask you to make just 1,000 Canadian dollar. Based on that one, you can accept. That's also the second step. Now, after that, the next step will be, so these 2 costs are the major costs involved. Surprisingly, these 2 costs are the major costs involved. Then the next one is your visa application fee. A visa application fee is less than $200. You do medicals and all those things, let's add all those things, it's less than $200. So $600 plus $200, we are looking at just $800. $800, we are looking at, let's say, 12,000 Ghana cedis, which is cool for me. Then after you get your visa, the next cost you incur will be your flight ticket. Flight tickets for myself, Ghana to where I am, to Canada, British Columbia, it cost me $2,000. So $2,000 plus, let's say, $1,000. So in all, you could be incurring just $3,000 to relocate here. But the next cost, which is the 4th cost, that you need to prove, you may not necessarily incur, but you need to prove. So it must be in either your bank account, that's if you are sponsoring yourself. It must be in your parents' account. If your parents are sponsoring you, it must be in your company account, and it must even be more than that. That one, you need to prove it. You don't necessarily incur it at the time of application. You need to prove it, and when it becomes necessary, when you come here, you are going to use it. So I'll break that particular cost down, the proof of funds. I'm sure that's what a lot of people are concerned. Like I'm saying, even though this content is for Canada, there are people who are also interested in going to school in the UK. I'll try and share that of the UK. The UK is quite simple and straightforward. For the UK, the deposit is £5,000, which is quite huge. When you compare it to Ghana cedis, it's like times 20 per pound. So we are looking at £5,000. We are looking at 100,000 Ghana cedis. But Canada, the deposit is usually 1,000 Canadian dollars to 2,000 Canadian dollars, which is roughly like 30,000 cedis. Good. Apart from that's towards your tuition. Apart from that, the proof of funds must be an amount that should be able to cover you for the rest of your tuition fee and your living expenses in Ghana. For most schools, especially the UK, when you are going to do your masters, you are supposed to prove 1 year living expenses allowance. I think that's supposed to be about £10,000. It's supposed to be in your account. Later I'll explain to you how you're able to raise it and how you're able to show it. We'll do another video to explain each one, because a lot of people have specific situation. If your mother is sponsoring you, if your father is sponsoring you, if a sister is sponsoring you, how you are supposed to show it will be different. If your company is sponsoring you, it's different. If you are sponsoring yourself, it's different. If you are sponsoring yourself and it's from personal savings, how you are supposed to show and present it is different. If you are sponsoring yourself and it's from sale of assets, it's different. If you are sponsoring yourself and it's scholarship, how you present it is different. Government scholarship, maybe you have contacted a company or a finance or a banking institution that will be able to give you funds as a form of a loan or credit. That one too, how you present it will be different. So I'll take my time and take each one of them. You watching, leave a comment. Let me know which one is more important to you, which particular type of proof of funds is more important to you, and I'll deal with that one first. But trust me, I'll deal with all of them. So that is it. So apart from the deposit, which I said UK is £5,000, and for Canada, for Canadian schools, it's usually 1,000 Canadian dollars or 2,000 Canadian dollars. You need to prove living expense for a year, and for UK is supposed to be £10,000. For Canada, it's supposed to be 20,000 Canadian pounds. Previously, it was 10,000 Canadian pounds, but now they changed it to 20,000 Canadian pounds. So when I give you the amount, you convert it in your home country rate. As at now that I'm doing the video, I think a pound is 20 cedis. Then a Canadian dollar is about 13 cedis. So you do a conversion. So 20,000 Canadian dollars for 1 year. If you are doing 2 years, I would advise that you're able to put, like, let's say 40,000 Canadian pounds in the account. I'm going to explain how you are able to raise this money. Don't worry about it. I'm just giving you an overview. I'll go into details how you can raise it through sale of assets, how probably people can help you and all that. We'll go into that. But I'm saying that you need to prove 20,000 Canadian dollars for a year. And for UK, you need to prove 10,000 pounds for a year. That is one. The next one you also need to prove is the remaining part of your school fees. So remember, for the Canadian application, you are supposed to deposit 1,000 Canadian dollars or 2,000 Canadian dollars. The remaining amount, usually most fees will be costing you like 25,000 Canadian dollars. So the remaining amount is supposed to be 23,000 Canadian dollars, which must also be in your account. So in all, for a 2-year program, which they may advise and encourage you to prove just your tuition fee and your living expenses for 1 year, is supposed to be 23,000 or let's say 25,000 Canadian dollars for your tuition fee and 20,000 Canadian dollars for your living expenses, which will be roughly 45,000 Canadian dollars. If you are able to prove more than the minimum required, this is the minimum. What I'm saying is the minimum. If you're able to prove more than the minimum required, then it's better for you. When we come to UK, you are supposed to put £10,000 in your account as living expenses for the year. Then you're also supposed to prove, I think UK fees usually they are about 20,000 British pound. There are times that they could give you subsidy of £5,000 and you could be paying £15,000. So for UK too, you need to show 10,000 for living expenses, then let's say 20,000, so that is 30,000 pounds. If you are from Ghana and the rate is 20, then 20 times 30,000 pounds, roughly we are looking at almost 600,000. It's quite huge, but hey, it's unfortunate. But this money is not money that is supposed to necessarily be for you yourself. Like I said, depending on your situation, if a company wants to sponsor you, how you present the document is different. If your parents want to sponsor you, how you present the document and the information is different. If you are sponsoring yourself, how you present the information is different. So this is how much it will cost you. But like I said, the cost is pay as you go. First, you need 200 Canadian dollars for the application. UK application is free. Majority UK schools application is free. But for Canada, you need about 100 Canadian dollars or 150 Canadian dollars for one school. If you want to apply for 4 schools, then I will encourage you. You can get like 600 Canadian dollars. When you get the offer, then you are supposed to pay like 1,000 Canadian dollars or 2,000 Canadian dollars in order to accept the offer, and it is towards the payment of your tuition fee. It goes to reduce the amount of fees you are supposed to pay. Then you're also supposed to prove 1 year living expense. For Canadian students, you are supposed to prove 20,000 Canadian dollars for 1 year. Then your fees will also cost you like about 25,000. So the two will put you about 45,000 Canadian dollars. But don't be afraid. I'm saying that all you need is research and information. If you have the right information, you'll be able to raise this money, and I'm going to share with you how you'll be able to raise this money. Same for UK, you need 10,000 as living expenses, and you need 20,000. The two together, roughly 30,000 pounds for the UK. So this is how much it will cost you. But like I said, it is pay as you go. Pay as you go. You don't necessarily need all this amount at a go. It's pay as you go. So for now, like I said, it's your brother Justice MSC. Make sure you keep supporting us by following us and hitting on the subscribe button. It is raining. It is very cold. Even though they say it's summer, trust me, their summer is as cold as Hamatan, or as cold as cold weather in our home country. So that's it. But I need to share this information with you. It's very, very important. Once again, your brother Justice MSC. Yes, shout outs to senior men in the game, Milo TV, shout outs to Planner HGA, shout out to Nana Bafo TV, shout outs to Choco Millionaire, and shout out to you who keep watching and returning subscribers and new subscribers. I really appreciate you. For now, it's bye from the other side of town. Bye bye. Let me give you some quick view. Yeah, so it's a beautiful city, trust me. Trust me, a decision to come to Canada will not be a bad decision. Trust me, you'll never regret, and you thank me later. Alright, so for now, bye bye. I'm out.